McCarthy gets his gavel. Isn't that convenient? Late on Friday night, it all just came together. While the rest of America said, oh, we're done working for the week, we're going to take the night off, Congress pushed it through. Kevin McCarthy's got the gavel. You see him looking there, nice and proud of it. He's like, I'm just going to bang this thing hard and we're going to get some stuff done. Well, we'll see. A lot of promises came from the Republicans and we'll see if they're able to keep any of it. But we are going to go through what happened, including talking about this mouth grab incident. Because look at this. I mean, what a joke. What kind of a man grabs another man like that right across the mouth? Not even, like the chin, right across the mouth. Look at that. Repeatedly grabbing it. Shameful. So we have to get to the bottom of what actually happened here. McCarthy commented on it. Representative Davidson, the guy who got assaulted, on his mouth, a mouth assault, he also commented on that as well. We've also got reaction from Crenshaw. He's like, man, I've got a lot of heartburn here, in addition to some other ailments that he suffers from. Chip Roy was explaining this was all extremely necessary. We've got clips from Matt Gaetz and Scalia. You remember Scalia, rest in peace, former Supreme Court judge. He says, gridlock is amazing. And we're going to get to all of those clips. But first, let's go through and listen to what actually happened in the House of Representatives. Late on Friday night, the rest of us are all living our lives in peace and harmony. Congress is rummaging around, and they're trying to get a new speaker.
Thank the Speaker. I rise in opposition to the rules and the rules package. In particular, I support the Women's Health Protection Act. So women seek.
California has received 216.
Here it is. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House. Oh, isn't that nice? We did it. Yeah. Hey.
The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 212.
There's Hakeem, the election denier, multiple times denying elections.
With 6 recorded as present. Therefore, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Oh, man. You're kidding me. Well, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, right? And it's much better than the alternative. I mean, I like Kevin better than Nancy. We'll see how he does. And we're going to get into it. A lot of victories for the Republicans, for the conservatives. We're going to go through that all here in a minute. Democrats are cringing. Stop. All right, so that's the new speaker. That is what actually happened in Congress, and a very gratuitous pause there for Kevin McCarthy. Quick pause on this. Shout out to Red One, who just gifted 5 memberships over on YouTube. It's very generous of you, Red One. Thank you for doing that. We've got 5 new members. Welcome to the membership community. So you get access to those morning member streams and so on. But that is Kevin McCarthy. And of course, he is the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. Isn't that just a thing? And so after he got the gavel, he went over there and he gave a little bit of a speech, but he also had the extremely important responsibility of swearing in all of the individuals, all of the other Congress people who are going to promise to do a great job and protect our rights.
According to the President, the chair will swear in the members-elect en masse. The members-elect will rise. The chair will now administer the oath of the office. All members-elect will raise their right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God. Congratulations. You are now members of the 118th Congress.
Yay, great. Wonderful. Grand. Awesome. Oh, gosh. Now, did you like what C-SPAN did this whole time? They kept the camera right on Santos, who's standing right next to Gaetz. Are they trying to do like a little guilt by association thing there or something? I think that it might be that. And I can't tell, but probably. Now, there's another clip of Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is there explaining his position in a new speech, and here's what he had to say for us. What is Kevin McCarthy going to do with the gavel?
As Speaker of the House, my ultimate responsibility is not to my party, my conference, or even our Congress. My responsibility, our responsibility, is to our country.
Yeah, I hope so. I think so too.
Two months ago, you voted for a new direction for our country. You embraced our commitment to America. And now we're going to keep our commitment to you.
You better, buddy boy. You better. We're all watching you. You've got a lot of promises to keep, and so we're going to go through some of those. There was a big question, of course, about the mouth grab incident, and we're going to take a quick look at this summation here because C-SPAN caught the full 2 minutes of this puppy. You can see here 1 minute and 48 seconds. We are in the final hours of the counting of the votes. McCarthy's at 2:15. Jeffries is at 2:11. Others are at 4. Present is at 2. My goodness. We're just at the end of the line here. The end of the game. Everybody's at boiling point. The whole Congress is turning into a pressure cooker. It's about to explode. Let's see what happens from deep within the halls of the House of Representatives. Kevin McCarthy approaches. Little conversation here. Now we'll pull myself off the screen. You see Matt Gaetz is hiding behind the present two there. Little conversation back and forth. McCarthy leans in. Crowd boos a little bit. Some moans and groans. McCarthy backs up. Gaetz is shaking his head. Little left finger pointing at the bench. Camera zooms out. Okay, we're getting a little bit contentious now with 40 seconds in. Now, the victim of the face crime has not made his way onto the screen yet. Lauren Boebert is also to the right, to Matt Gaetz is left. We see Mr. Bowtie coming across. He's wedging his way in, pretty provocative, tells everybody, shut up. You're getting too loud here in the House. More people are making their way down the hall. McCarthy's still exchanging words. Gaetz is not even looking at him. Eye contact. Oh, now he turns his head, makes contact. Now we get Mr. Davidson. He turns the corner. He's coming in hot, very quick. He says, all right, that's it, buddy boy. And then the face grab. Oh, no, and we're off the screen. Oh, man. And it's just all coming down, out of control. It's turned into absolute madness. The face grab heard around Congress. Oh, my gosh. All right, so we're going to have to just rewind that a bit. Here you can see, look at this guy. He comes barreling around the corner. Who does he think he is? Watch this around the top corner here. Here, watch this. He comes barreling around. Boom. Follow the red. Here he is. All right, enough, everybody. I'm going to settle this. And then, here it comes. Here it comes. Watch. Left hand right around the mouth. This is totally inappropriate. Now, For gentlemen out there who like to, sometimes get into scuffles in a little bit, there's so many other things you can grab. Shoulders. I mean, here, he's got a necktie on, literally. You could grab a collar if you wanted to, you could grab a belt, you could grab a hip, shoulder, underhook the arms, anything. But a face grab? All right, like that is just like insulting. Here, let's watch. Oh man, it's gone. He just got him right across the face. I can't even take it. Oh, it's brutal. You can see it behind the imagery there. Now, that's how the rest of this ended. And, it's absolute madness. All right, so that is the scene. And you see it right there in sort of up close. I mean, it's just really, it's literally in your face, in your mouth. Totally inappropriate. Now, we're going to talk about, of course, what happened, and Kevin McCarthy is going to explain what happened there. And we're also going to hear from Mr. Davidson himself, the man who got his face assaulted. But first, let's just pause and talk about Goldco, my friends, because this is our new sponsor. They're back. Remember, robertlikesgold.com. And for some time, we thought that maybe they weren't a sponsor of the program, but of course they are. And they're back because Robert likes gold. And did you know that you can go to robertlikesgold.com and get your free 2023, it's new year, so you get a new kit for Gold IRA. And this is what many Americans can use to protect their retirement savings. Very simple. You just fill out this little form. It's a free kit. They'll send it over to you. They'll talk to you about $10,000 in free silver. It's amazing. Free shipping, access to all sorts of information. You've got tax-free, penalty-free adjustments, and your retirement savings can grow. We all know the US dollar is in the toilet. Look at all these great reviews. Forrest says, Goldco made this transaction easier than I ever imagined it would be. Thanks again to the great people at Goldco for helping me get into precious metals. Keep up the good work for your clients, me included. Beautiful message from Forrest. And so go on over to robertlikesgold.com and get your free gold kit today, my friends. Great sponsor of the show. We're glad to have them back. Now that we know what happened, the face grab heard around the world, many people are asking McCarthy, hey, what the heck happened there with the face grab? Are you embarrassed as we are for what happened there?
Talk through what happened on the floor here. Heading into the 14th ballot, you thought you had the votes. Suddenly you were surprised. There was a heated confrontation on the floor. You had an exchange with Matt Gaetz. What happened?
It wasn't a heated one between Matt and I, no.
No, friendly.
What I was telling him is I'd rather win on the 15th. So we went to another ballot. That was a joke, but you didn't catch it. No, what happened was it became a tie. And I really think Matt had talked to me before. Matt really wanted to get everybody there. And so through all of this, people's emotions go up and down. And at the end of the night, Matt got everybody there from the point that nobody voted against the other.
That's right.
So it actually helped unite people.
But what changed?
It was very unifying. And as we've talked about, right, you want to get the iron out the rub. Is that the phrase? Iron out the problems in the agreement before you enter into the agreement. Right? You sort of negotiate the contractual terms before you enter into the contract, generally speaking. And so they're saying, look, everything worked out fine. The face grab is just it's old news. I don't even remember the face grab. In fact, why don't we just let bygones be bygones? Here is Rep. Davidson. Davidson was the man who got his face grabbed, embarrassingly, in Congress. And he was asked about this on Newsmax. What the heck happened here, Congressman?
Well, Mike Rogers kind of lost his cool before we started voting for speaker on Monday or Tuesday, and that probably flipped 5 or 6 votes. And so on top of this, it really has been a loss of self-control that I think a lot of people in the conference say that's not really acceptable. I don't know whether Mike has worked things out with Matt or others, but I have heard that he does plan to step down as a member of the steering committee, which is frankly a position he threatened to use in a retaliatory way, not just against Matt Gaetz, but against anyone who would not support Kevin. Yeah. So I think that'll go a little ways towards healing some of the wounds, the collateral damage that's been caused by this debate.
Sir, have you recovered from that face grab? Did you do something manly after that? Like go to a monster truck rally or go skydiving or something? Did you reclaim your manliness? Did you beat the crap out of that guy for grabbing your face? We sure hope so. All right, so it's not even a big deal. The whole thing's over. Not a big deal. Everybody was just a little bit, over eager. It just got out of control. Now, this is actually not a, necessarily a bad thing, as we're going to see next. But do you remember there's all sorts of historical examples of this back in the 1800s where senators were literally beating each other, like caning each other with their canes in Congress because of what they said. They said, "How dare you impugn my honor, sir? Enjoy the cane," repeatedly until you're unconscious on the ground. There was one incident where a congressperson evidently was unconscious on the floor of Congress. Forgot to look it up, but maybe we'll do that another time. But this is it. It's just a little bit of, congressional, face grabbing. Not a big deal. All right. So as we move on, we see a lot of reaction to the conflict on the floor of Congress. Some people saying this is a necessary conflict, right? We need to iron this stuff out before we form a government in the House of Representatives. Chip Roy says, everybody just calm down. All right. Not that big of a deal. We got a speaker. We had to go through some of this mess in order to get there, but we're better for it.
Well, first of all, let's remember that a little temporary conflict is necessary in this town in order to stop this town from rolling over the American people. I don't think anybody on either side of the aisle could say with a straight face that they think that Washington is doing good work for the American people on a regular basis and isn't broken. We have to work to fix this place. And look, some of the tensions you saw on display when we saw some of the, the interactions there between Mike Rogers and Matt Gaetz, some of that is, we need a little of that. We need a little of this sort of breaking the glass in order to get us to the table, in order to fight for the American people and to change the way this place is dysfunctional.
That's the point, right? We have an adversarial system in many ways. Remember, all separate but equal. The co-equal branches, one of the things they need to do is sort of elbow around against each other, right? The House, in this case, the legislative branch versus the executive branch versus the judicial branch. The same thing happens within the branches themselves. Within Congress, you've got this little speed bump in between the congressional gears. You've got a House and a Senate. It complicates things. Then within the House, you've got a bunch of different subcommittees and so on and so forth. The speed bumps in the governmental gears are by design. They're a feature, not a bug. And Chip Roy is communicating that. Many people on the left, though, they don't like people who are dissenters. They want everything to run smoothly. They are central planners. They can handle it typically with 250 people in the House of Representatives. They just need, Nancy Pelosi, and she can sort of whip everybody into shape. When they try to extrapolate that to the rest of the world and the American economy, everything comes crashing down and everything turns into a disaster. That being said, they want uniformity. They want to censor people who question them. They want everybody to just agree. For people who claim they're very diverse, they all act very much the same. So they are looking at what the Republicans have done, and they say that what they have done is outrageous. It's conflict, and it's like a second insurrection. And it's unbelievable that they're even, capable of waking up with all of that continual anxiety, just insurrection after insurrection after insurrection. All right. So we've got Chip Roy says this is necessary. Another so-called Republican is named Dan Crenshaw, and he is very unhappy with this. Crenshaw says that this is not needed in Washington. In fact, we should have gotten this over a long time ago. And anybody who was creating speed bumps in our process is a terrorist.
And I believe him when he says he was trying to make that deal throughout the week, but he's one of the few. There was no reason for us to keep voting, keep allowing these speeches that just degraded and diminished and insulted Kevin McCarthy. We didn't have to keep doing that. We could have just adjourned for the whole week and just kept negotiating. Yeah. And so that's where the heartburn is, and that's what I want people to know. This deal was easy. That wasn't the hard part, right? There's not as much disagreement as everyone thinks on how that rules package went by and what some of the new changes needed to be. And the only thing I'll disagree with this group on is that it could have been done earlier. And so that's what justifies the animosity that occurred all week. It seemed very, very pointless.
All right. And so that is Eye Patch McCain, who is saying very, very pointless. Now, we'll see, because we are going to take a look at the rules in the next segment, in the next video, if you're watching this on record. But we're going to go through all of those rules. We're going to take a look at exactly what's coming up. The weaponization subcommittee is something that was negotiated. The official rules have a lot more. They've also got an $87,000 or 87,000 IRS repeal provision, right? There's all sorts of stuff that came out of this, and we're going to go through all of that. But the bigger question, of course, is about this gridlock. Is it really a problem if Congress doesn't work fluidly? They are not able to get stuff done. Justice Scalia, may he rest in peace, one of the best Supreme Court judges in history, gives us a little bit of a history lesson on gridlock in America and why it's so important.
And, the Europeans look at this system and they say, well, it passes one house, it doesn't pass the other house. Sometimes the other house is in the control of a different party. It passes both. And then this president who has a veto power vetoes it. And they look at this and they say, it is gridlock. And I hear Americans saying this nowadays, and there's a lot of it going around. They talk about a dysfunctional government because there's disagreement, and the framers would have said, yes, that's exactly the way we set it up. We wanted this to be power contradicting power, because the main ill that beset us, as Hamilton said in the Federalist, when he talked about a separate Senate. He said, yes, it seems inconvenient, but inasmuch as the main ill that besets us is an excess of legislation, it won't be so bad. This is 1787. He didn't know what an excess of legislation was. So unless Americans can appreciate that and learn to love the separation of powers, which means learning to love the gridlock, which the framers believed would be the main protection of minorities. The main protection.
It's a good thing.
If a bill is about to pass that really comes down hard on some minority, they think it's terribly unfair. It doesn't take much to throw a monkey wrench into this complex system. So Americans should appreciate that, and they should learn to love the gridlock.
We do. I do. I know you do.
It's there for a reason, so that the legislation that gets out will be good legislation.
If it has to go through the crucible in order to get to the other end, that means it's probably really good, really needed. It's not just whatever Congress wants to just shove down the gullet of all of America. They just say, well, throw in another few billion for my pet project here and there. You want every single person, you want one person like Matt Gaetz, one single individual to be able to say, nope, sorry, and stall the whole process. Scalia, of course, knew that. Many other people know that, except many, I guess, commentators out there in the media. But after all is said and done, we have a conclusion. Matt Gaetz says it's time to come together and move on.
Quoted as saying the construct of these rules concessions functionally turn the speakership into a ceremonial position. Do you mean that?
Well, Speaker McCarthy is our speaker.
Whoa.
And long live the speaker. I look forward to working closely with him. But he did agree, to his great credit, to democratize power to the membership. Oftentimes, these committees that decide what bills come to the floor, what the spending paradigm is, they're controlled just by people loyal to the speaker. Now what we have is a real representation of all of the different viewpoints within our conference. On the Rules Committee, on the Appropriations Committee, we fought hard to get agreements to have conservatives on those committees, to have our budget hawks on appropriations, and I can't wait to see what we're able to do when we unlock the potential of all of our members going forward.
What about the...
Long live the speaker, says Matt Gaetz. Very interesting. And so, right, you can see it's making everybody better. It's like when you're on the same team, if you've ever played sports, sometimes you have that rival, that other kid who's like, gunning for that top spot. You might beat the crap out of each other in order to win the starting position, but you both become better as a result. And that's exactly what happened in Congress. Matt Gaetz sounds like, hey, he's the speaker now, right? I'll fall in line because we got some of the things that we want. We'll see how it works. Hopefully we are able to get some good progress for this country because Lord knows we need it. So that is the updates in the Speaker of the House battle. McCarthy finally gets his gavel, and we will, of course, continue to cover this. Thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing wherever it is you're watching this, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.